You know, for once, I actually feel like I know what I'm doing. Hey y'all, this is Ghost, and welcome back to the Arcana Characters Inspired Desserts Series. Man, that's a mouthful. But yeah, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing good today. Sorry if the lighting is weird. I'm filming a lot later than I usually would, so I don't have any natural light, and the lighting in this kitchen sucks. So, I told you guys that this is one of the only pre-planned recipes that I have, but it's also a recipe that I've tried many times in the past successfully, unlike the tiramisu recipe that I did last time, which was... honestly, it tasted good, but it looked horrible, and the execution was not that great. But this one, I promise you, I am actually going to succeed this time, and it's incredibly easy. This is a single-serving microwave egg custard flan recipe. The reason why I chose this to be Muriel's is number 1, it contains eggs, number 2, it is single serving, number 3, it only uses a microwave. So we have eggs, isolation, and efficiency, which I feel like are good qualities for a Muriel themed recipe. So, without further ado, I should probably stop talking and actually get to explaining this recipe. So the first thing you're gonna need is a regular size coffee mug filled about like that much, you know, normal drink amount, with water. As for the size, I don't really know what the standard measurement of a coffee mug is, but as long as it's not like a really tiny espresso mug or like one of those giant novelty mugs, it should do fine. Also, I don't recommend using a coffee mug that's like weird in shapes. Just use a standard cylindrical shaped mug. So once you've filled it up with water, you want to put it in the microwave for 2 minutes until the water is extremely hot and steaming. The reason why you want to do this is because you're going to be microwaving the mug for a pretty long time. So the thing is going to get very hot. And so if the mug is not preheated, there is a chance that it would break. There's a higher chance if the mug is not cylindrical, it's like weirdly shaped, so that's why you want to use a plain cylindrical mug as well. Set this thing for 2 minutes and begin. And now we wait. Once it's done, just take the mug and dump the water out. Then you're going to need a tablespoon of granulated sugar. To be honest, it doesn't have to be granulated, it can just be plain white sugar. And half a teaspoon of water. Then just take anything. I'm going to use this mini whisk, but you want to mix it up real good so that there are no dry spots, so that the sugar is all melted and wet. It's not going to become liquid, it's going to be like mushy, wet sand. So like it kind of looks like that. It's actually very hard to see, but like that type of texture is what it's going to look like, and that's what you're aiming for. And try not to get it on the edges, but honestly if it does get on the edges, it's not going to be too bad. Just try to scrape it off. Then you want to put this in the microwave on high for a minute until the sugar turns brown. You may want to get an oven mitt for this because the mug, again, is going to get very, very hot, and you really don't want to touch it with your bare hands. Mine just came out of the microwave after a minute, and as you can see, the sugar is melted, but it's not yet brown, so I'm going to put it in for another minute. Don't put it in for more than a minute, because sometimes the microwave is going to blast the absolute hell out of it, and it's going to burn to a crisp, and that's not what you want. Future Ghost here, because I forgot something again. This recipe is not my original. It is 100% someone else's recipe. It's just the original is in Japanese, so I decided to reshare this in English so that more people can enjoy it. The original recipe will be in the description below. Here you can see that the syrup is going golden, but it's still not quite enough, so I'm gonna put it in again. Right, so see this? This color is perfect. And now once it immediately comes out, you want to just immediately put in a half teaspoon of water, and it's gonna sizzle like that. So be careful so you don't get any drops on you. And while it's sizzling, shake the cup to stir everything. It smells burnt, but it's gonna be fine. And so basically, this is what you have, and you want to take this and set it aside while you prepare the rest of the flan. So, next step is to take a large measuring cup. I think a lot of you will have this one. As long as it's like about 500 milliliters, it should be big enough to do the next step. So first, you're gonna take the milk and you're going to measure out approximately 130 milliliters. You're not gonna have a line for that, so just stop a little below 150. You actually can't see the line I'm going for. So yeah, probably around here. Actually, that's probably closer to 140, but oh well. Should be fine. Next, take one egg and crack it into the mixing cup, the measuring cup, I'm sorry. The egg is added. Take 2 tablespoons of sugar and add that to the cup as well. Finally, add some vanilla extract. This part is optional, but it definitely adds to the flavor. I think I say this every single time vanilla extract is mentioned in a cooking video of mine, but Japanese vanilla extract is extremely strong. So if you're using a Japanese brand, only add 2 or 3 drops. That should be enough. If you're adding an American type of vanilla extract, I think a 1/4 teaspoon will do just fine. And just take whatever utensil you have. I'm gonna bring back the mini whisk and mix until the mixture is well blended. Once you do that, bring back the mug from earlier and carefully, slowly pour the mixture over the caramel. Just like that. Then, put this back in the microwave for 2 minutes, but keep a very close eye on it, and once the mixture starts to boil, stop the microwave immediately and take it out. While it's microwaving, take a towel and some cling wrap and have it ready because you need to be very quick for the next step. Oh, and absolutely do not forget your oven glove for this. You absolutely need it. It might be the thickness of the mug, but it really didn't start to boil the first 2 minutes. Oh, it's starting now. I'm gonna stop now. Okay, I'm gonna continue talking though because this is important. The first time I did it for 2 minutes, it didn't change at all, probably because of the thickness of the mug. So I tell you all these times, but really just watch out for the visual cues because it can really vary depending on what type of microwave you use and what type of mug you use. I'm gonna take this out using an oven mitt. Very quickly here, I'm gonna take my cling wrap and seal the top. I'm gonna take my kitchen towel and wrap up the mug just like this. To hold the pudding's temperature and allow it to lower slowly, and you're just gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes until it cools down and you can touch it with your hands. It's still gonna be warm, you can still touch the cup, and at that point you can just eat it. It's actually quite good to eat warm, especially on a cold day, but I'm gonna just complete this recipe to a whole. Once it cools down to room temperature, at least touching temperature, you're gonna put that in the fridge for about an hour or 2 so that it cools down completely and it's chilled and ready to serve. So I'll see you then. Alright, so it's now been several hours and I've allowed the flan to cool, and you can see that the cling wrap has pretty much suctioned itself onto the flan. But anyway, so basically, you can just peel off the cling wrap and eat it right out of the cup. However, it honestly looks a whole lot cooler when it's tipped out onto the plate, And also the caramel will drizzle down onto the entire thing so you can eat it with it rather than just at the very bottom. So basically how you do that is you want to use both hands, but you want to take a plate, put it on top of the mug, and then turn it upside down. There's some spillage. Alright, and then I'm pretty sure you've heard that little like swoop noise. I'm just gonna shake it a little bit, make sure everything's okay, and the moment of truth, guys. There it is. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? This was made in a microwave. And I feel like it looks really good on this plate, to be honest. So watch it jiggle. Now, this isn't a sign of failure, but sometimes if you leave it in the microwave for a little bit too long, you'll get sort of like curdly bubbles at the bottom. That's not a sign of failure. It's still edible. It still tastes just as good. It's just that you'll have like tough bits that are a little bit overcooked in your flan. And that's fine. But sometimes when you like time it absolutely perfectly, and I feel like it's impossible to actually gauge, but it is like fully smooth and it's amazing. So honestly, I've been trying this so many times to actually get that, and I've only like succeeded once, and I think I've done this close to a dozen times. I seriously doubt I got it this time because I was talking as it was boiling and I totally forgot to like stop it immediately. But yeah, I think I'll try this on camera for once. Got a spoon, let me just, looks pretty good actually. It's perfect. I mean, not perfect as in the texture. Obviously there's like a little bit of that going on. I've honestly had worse. So I'm honestly surprised it's actually this good because I missed the boiling mark. But honestly, if I stopped this like several seconds before it boiled over, it probably would have been absolutely perfect. But oh man, the flavor, it's just the whole burnt sugar type taste, and then like with the really rich custard flavor, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. I can't stress how much I love this recipe. And I'm glad I succeeded with this one because the julienne one was just an absolute fail. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. If all goes planned, I'm probably either gonna do Azra. Like, as I'm filming this video, I'm actually developing more recipes as I go, and I feel like I have one for Azra, but I'm not sure yet. It's either gonna be Azra or Lucio next week, so stay tuned.